Time now for our international press review in the papers. Chris Moore's here. Chris, where are you starting?
Well, Mark, let's start off with Cambodia, Thailand, an ongoing border dispute there. Of course, all this kicked off when UNESCO that said that a temple by the name of Preah Vihear was a Cambodian monument and not a Taiwan. Troops sent to the border on both sides, and the UN Security Council due to discuss this today. Let's look in the Straits Times, a Singaporean newspaper. Fighting talk there from the Thai ambassador. He accuses Cambodia of trying to grab land along the entire border. There's an interesting kind of colonial angle to this piece as well, saying that the Cambodians are pushing for a border settlement, or would push for one, along the lines of an old French colonial map. The Thais are going for a US-assisted map, which unsurprisingly gives them a better deal. Let's have a look in The Nation, the English-language Thai paper. The growing war of words is featured there. Thai Prime Minister Samak Sundaravic accusing his Cambodian counterpart Hun Sen of stirring nationalist sentiment ahead of elections this weekend. The paper agrees really with the Thai Prime Minister, saying the whole border standoff is a storm in a teacup, and saying that the Cambodians are very good at crying wolf.
Storm in a teacup, but nonetheless troops deployed.
Absolutely.
Interesting terminology. What's next?
Let's go to Zimbabwe now, and the Zimbabwean newspaper, a London-based paper written by a Zimbabwean journalist. ZANU-PF delays talks while cash is stashed. Now, this is the story of Robert Mugabe's friends and cronies spiriting their money out of Zimbabwe in US dollars and stashing it in bank accounts in South Africa, the UK and East Asia. All of this, of course, to avoid the pressure of sanctions and any potential financial probes which could go on under a power-sharing agreement. Inflation in Zimbabwe, claims the paper, is at 10 million%, which leads me on to a story in The Guardian, the British paper. Now, on Monday, the central bank in Zimbabwe issued a banknote worth 10 billion Zimbabwean dollars. And that was on a German paper supplied by a German company. Now, as part of the sanctions that are going on, the government in Berlin pressured this company to stop supplying paper to Zimbabwe. The result being that they're probably going to have to stop printing banknotes, all of which could cause just paying workers could become a problem. A little look at the ethics of sanctions there. I mean, who's really benefiting and not benefiting from this if the man in the street's not getting paid?
Indeed, the paper there, the Zimbabweans saying 10 million% is the official rate, the rate of inflation.
2.2 is the official one. They're saying it's 10.
Just 2.2 million.
Just
it's absolutely
2.2.
It's astronomical and so difficult to kind of envisage what that means for life in general. Ridiculous stuff. What's next?
Radovan Karadzic, obviously still all over the papers following his capture. The Herald, the Scottish paper, has been interviewing his friends and neighbours in Belgrade, where he, of course, worked as an alternative medic in disguise. A local bar owner recalls a friendly old man. I think the local bar owner was a bit pro-Karadzic because he keeps talking him up and said he'd come in for a glass of wine and sit under a photo of, guess who, Radovan Karadzic.
Photo of himself.
Before the disguise, exactly, yes. Also, a man who was allegedly commissioned to do a website for Karadzic records meetings at Karadzic's home, where he was shown photos of an alleged family in the United States. Also met his mistress, an attractive 40-year-old brunette, apparently. And he
likes men with beards, obviously.
He wonders if this woman actually knew who she was going out with.
Indeed. And the people in the bar, did they know who the guy with the beard was?
No,
That's
I did.
The question.
A friendly, professorial type.
I imagine they probably did. Sorry, that's only my opinion. OK, what's next?
Libération, the French paper. Now, France, of course, famed for its worker-friendly employment laws, 35-hour week, extra days off if you work over that, long holidays, etc. The only problem is, of course, that critics say this harms the economy. Nicolas Sarkozy, the president, was elected on a work more to earn more platform. But who should be out in the streets yesterday but the people who voted for Sarkozy? White-collar workers complaining about his reforms and deciding that, in fact, they probably prefer to have more days off. The work-life balance, it seems, is still very important here in France.
It's funny because everyone bleated about this and they wanted all the change. Now the change is coming.
Probably Sarkozy voters, that.
Everybody's angry, you're right. Chris, thank you very much. Our international press review, Chris Moore. You're watching France 24. Stay with us.
From Norway to Jordan, from Saint-Céré to Reunion, discover the very best in world music, contemporary art and all the lively arts on France 24. All summer long, Culture Magazine takes you backstage at the biggest festivals. Join us for the Summer of Festivals, every Thursday, 9:20 AM Paris time, on France 24.
Business is brought to you by Dexia, the public finance bank.